All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. 1 second. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Awesome, awesome. And wow, we are done with April. So congratulations, everybody. What a month. So done with April. We'll take a look at that here in a second. So today we're going to be finishing our discussion this week on chart patterns that work. And we're going to be talking about the 2B reversal. So this is a pretty cool setup, originally developed by Trader Vic, and we'll talk about that in a little bit here. Before we do, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, well, let's check and see where we left off with the market today and this month. So we've been tracking this monthly chart, for a while here because of the high volatility, right, since the Corona crash. So pretty cool stuff. We finished April, so it's on the books. Right, here it is. Here's the monthly chart for April. It is done. So we closed above the mid-Bollinger Band. We managed to get above after last month's tag of the lower part of the cloud. It was getting pretty scary there for a little bit. They brought it up here to that 50 monthly moving average, and we got above this macro trend line here from all the way back from the 2009 lows. Look at that. That's what, just using our trend line techniques, tag, and that's it. Right, so we came right back to those levels and bounced off of that here this month. So what a month, right? I mean, it's it almost, these days it's like, okay, well, everything's still on lockdown, but it's like, wow, did this really happen, right? And the bullishness is kind of interesting here. So we'll see how that follows into May. We'll take a look at the futures here in a little bit. They're already pushing down a little bit here. So, but we'll take a look at that in a second. Weekly chart, we've got 1 day left in the week. So hope everybody's week is going great too, and just one more day left. So pretty neat stuff, right? We had this bullish engulfing candle here, which is a great reversal candle, and we had the RSI was oversold here, so nice little indicator to support some follow through on this one. Now we had this week here was a pretty nasty week. I mean, it's 193 points, right? So it was a little bit of a rough week right there, but we finally pushed above that and got a nice move up. This hammer week fell into an inside week, and then we broke that inside week up here so far. So now tomorrow we're going to see what we have in store, right? If we end up having a down day tomorrow, this week could turn into a red shooting star week after a gap fill and a test of an inside week, right? And that may come back down eventually, tag these lows right here, kind of work its way down. And we'll analyze it more this weekend in our newsletter. Daily chart is pretty interesting, right? We have tagged the upward trend line. Okay, so some folks are looking at this bearishly. They're seeing it as a rising wedge type, as a rising wedge type pattern. Could be legitimate, right? A little rising wedge type pattern, so that could work itself out more to the downside, but we'll see, right? Because really all we care about is the trend line, right? So as long as we're holding trend, we're okay, right? Whether or not it's a rising wedge or whatever the pattern is, if it breaks down below this trend line and it confirms below it, right, then we'll consider it a potential bearish reversal, right? Depending on the volume and whatever SPY shows us for the volume or the S&P future shows us for the volume, and then we'll look for some more downside action, right? But there's a lot of support below now, right? Right now we still have this, right? Remember the December lows right here, that huge reversal pattern right here, Morningstar reversal, big support level right here that also played out back to yonder. Back here, back to October 2019. So it's a major level, right? So that's potential support. And now we have a bunch of moving averages below. We also have the cloud below too, and some other levels as well. But if it did break down, well, we got some big gaps below too. And then of course the recent reversal low. So we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. I'm not saying it's all going to happen in a week, but tomorrow should be interesting, and into next week should be very interesting. So we did have Amazon earnings after hours, and we had Apple earnings after hours. So those were pretty interesting too, right? So Amazon with a move down, Apple with a move down, right? Apple had good earnings, but it still moved down. Okay, so we'll see how that weighs on the market going into tomorrow. It's kind of nice that most of the tech names have reported so far, because we do like to trade the FANG names. They're on our go-to list, and so we'll see. Hopefully that'll help the premiums. Now, I'd prefer it to go up with lower premiums, so we don't have that volatility back in those option premiums. But we'll see how that goes going into there. Let's take a look at the price action today. So kind of a choppy day, right? So yesterday was Fed day. Right, so they kind of pushed it up a little bit, the Fed, and they gave you a little shot across the bow right here to be like, maybe just be a little bit cautious going into today. And it was a good thing, right, because we gapped down and then we pushed down at the open. We got a nice short on this on SPY at the open today, and then they bounced it off the lows right here. and then just chopped around the lows into the end of the day. And it's pretty cool. It actually gave us one of the setups here on the 15-minute chart that we're going to talk about today. So of the 2B reversal. So make sure we look at that as well. Here's the 5-minute chart, and with today's levels that we provide to our members before each market open, you can see how helpful those are. Right. So when we're trading, right, price likes to test levels, right? Whether it's a gap level or an open gap level or a calculated level. So we like to provide these right here as a weekly level right here. We reversed off of that, back down, fell to this area right here. Chopped around a little bit. Big candle here that says what? This one says it wants to likely test the next level. If we get some downside follow through, boom, we get the 15-hour blow. Then we ended up testing these lows right here. Worked our way up, chopped sideways a little bit, and just kind of had that interesting move into the end of the day. Okay, so good stuff. So today we're going to be talking about chart patterns that work. And today we're going to cover the 2B reversal. We're supposed to have a trader Mogan tonight. He's still going to do one with us. He's a little bit of a scheduling conflict tonight. So looks like we're probably going to end up having him on maybe like next Sunday or something like that. So just stay tuned for that. But the cool news is this Sunday I'm going to be instead of being here, I'm going to be going live at 6 o'clock Eastern Time with TrendSpider. And we're going to be looking at charts and talking about their platform a little bit and going back and forth on what's going on with the market. So be sure to tune in on Sunday, and I'll retweet that so you guys can catch that. So if you don't follow on Twitter, definitely follow on Twitter. The links are in the description. Okay, cool. So today we're going to be covering the 2B reversal. And let's get started with that. So what is the 2B reversal? So the 2B reversal is a reversal pattern that says a chart pattern that works, right? So it's a pattern that let's take a look. Let's go to the SPY real quick here and get some clear space, and I'll show you, what it looks like. Okay, let me get this pulled up here. Let's move over here a little bit. 1 second, guys. Good. Okay, so let's just take a look. So this is the 2B reversal is this. Okay, so you have a down pattern right here. Okay, it reverses up a little bit, and then it comes back down again, sets a new low, and then it starts to work its way up. But it's a candlestick pattern, okay, where you have a lower low, and the candle that reverses off of this low is a green candle in this case. So let's take a look. So here we would have say like a red candle right here, and then we'd have a green candle right here. Now a lot of these don't happen right next to each other. Okay, there has to be some space between it. How much space? It's up to you. But usually it's two pivots that are separated by another pivot. Okay, so this candle right here, in order to be considered a 2B reversal, is a green candle. It ends up closing green, and it's the candle that thrusts below this low candle right here. Okay, so if you get a green candle that thrusts below this candle right here, that's your 2B candle, and your entry is above the high of that candle, stop at the low of this candle, and then of course you can just trail it up when it works its way up. It's a very effective pattern. It doesn't occur all the time, and you have to look at different time frames to see where it's really happening. So when we're day trading, there's two good time frames that we like. I don't suggest using this on the 1 minute chart, right, because it can get very granular and you can overthink it, right? So one of the ones that we look at is either the 5 minute or the 15 minute. Okay, so let's take a look here at the 5 minute chart. We actually get this here on SPY. These are rare on the 5 minute chart. So this would not be a 2B reversal, although it did reverse off of this time frame. Even though there was a pivot here, a pivot here, and a pivot here, this is a red candle that thrust below that candle. See how this one was the one that broke below here. So even though you could go high off of that one, technically it wasn't a 2B because it was red. We want to see a green one, okay? Because otherwise you could get trapped in that, right? So I think we see one here at the beginning of the week. Yep, so right here. So nice stuff, okay? So here we trended down. Okay? So we trended down here. Just like we just drew. We came back up. We had another lower pivot right here. And this was the candle that thrust below this candle right here. See how none of these thrust below it? But this one did. Okay, and it closed green. And even better, it closed green with volume. Okay, so that's nice. That shows commitment that, hey, there's a little bit of capitulation right there, right? And then we start to work our way up. So the entry is above this candle. You see enter right here, and your stop is down here. Right, and you can really just trail this thing up, right? So it gives a nice move up here. It ends up being an entry here at 279.72 and gets its way back up to 280.90. So about a nice 1 point move off of that here on the SPY. With options, that pays nicely. And then if you can hold through the pullback right here, if you have some runners on this one, you can let it work its way all the way up to 281.50 for over a 1.5 point move off of that reversal. So you can see these are very rare, right? These do not happen all the time, but when you see them, right, you definitely want to take notice. And because the market always seems to be bullish, right? It is very hard to see on the reversal to the upside, right? To find a red candle that's spaced apart between a prior high. Okay, so it's definitely a challenging one to look at there. So let's take a look. There's another one. Let me give you another example right here. Let's go back to Tesla. Okay, so Tesla put in a 2B reversal. Let's see if I can find it. Or did it? I think it was back here. Okay. So pretty close to this candle right here. It wasn't much of a pivot, but if you look at this candle here, you'd have to really force this one, right? But you had a low right here. This candle did thrust below here with good volume, right? Entry off of this candle right here, right? And it gives you a move back up, okay? If you go to the 15-minute chart, sometimes these are even clearer, okay? So you can see here on the 15-minute chart with I think it actually did it on SPX instead. Yeah. Yep, so a little bit a 2B reversal right here. Okay, so kind of within this range right here. We had a thrust down, move back up, pivot down, right? So you don't see as clear of moves on these, but look at this. You have the nice candle right here, the thrust below the lows here today, right? Close above it, and you can take an entry here, right, and work your way up from 29.01 all the way up to 29.09 on that one. So a pretty cool one to use to look for on futures trades as well. And I'm trying to remember, I think SPX did one on a 5-minute chart this week at the there was a high on this one. I'm going to double check, see if we can find one here. Yeah, this one right here. Okay, so this is kind of a clearer one to see on the 5-minute chart. Okay, so you can see here we moved up, moved down, we moved up again, right, and then we reversed, right? So where's the reversal candle? It has to be a red candle on the way down, right? So here's your thrust up right here. Here's your candle that thrust over this candle, right? So this is your entry below that. It's a beautiful shooting star candle, right? And your entry is just below there with a stop above here, right? And it ended up working us down pretty nicely. It actually got to the next level pretty quickly. So that's 28.76 to get down to 28.73 for a 3-point move, right? And then if you could hold this pullback right here, all it did is tag the top of this, right? If you weren't trailing bar by bar, you don't get stopped out on this candle. It ended up working its way down even farther to 28.71. A little bit of a flag move down, and then ended up getting all the way down to 28.67, right? So from so almost a 10-point move off of that 2B reversal. So they're rare, but when you see them, when you're kind of looking at lows intraday, and these work on daily charts too. I just think they're more effective. I prefer them. I prefer day trading, for the most part. So, but when you see these, you definitely want to take notice and be like, hey, this might be a 2B reversal, and then look for a managed risk trade on that, right? So that's the concept right there. It's a really good. Tool. So hopefully you guys find it helpful and it helps your trading. So at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow, which is Friday. So good stuff, guys. All right, so let's pull up the daily chart right here and see what we got going on. So good. So Shirley sent a few in here by email, so let's take a look at what we're looking at right here. So Amazon, perfect. Amazon and Apple, that's a great way to start the day. So Amazon's pretty cool, right? So we were tracking this. We were talking about this flags yesterday, right? We had a nice bull flag pattern right here. Okay, so we had a nice bull flag pattern right here, and then we had a nice breakout of this bull flag pattern today. If this were not an earnings day, binary event, right, we would look to trade this candle, right? It's a beautiful flag breakout, and we would look to go long over this, right, with a stop either at the low of the flag or below today's low, and try to work that way up all the way up to this 2800 level. Of course, earnings is a binary event, and anything can happen, and you can see right here, right, that we pushed back after hours, right? So about down 100 points. It's kind of funny, right? That 100 points these days really doesn't seem like much. I mean, today's range was 78, so it's basically at today's lows, right? So we're basically pushing our way back and essentially still above its upward trend line on Amazon. So let's see if we catch a reversal on it tomorrow, back to the upside. Before we go on, guys, let's just take a look at the futures real quick and see how they're doing. We're down 30 points here this evening. You can see on the futures chart we are below the downward trend line right now. We're right at the 80 MA. So we're kind of have a little bit of a choppy session here this evening. We were tracking this tonight. We pointed out the short opportunity here at the open, right, on the bearishness here, and then we kind of climbed our way up right here, and are just kind of chopping around a little bit. So a little bit of a 2B reversal right here, guys. So this red candle thrust above this one right here, right? Because this one didn't clear it here, and we had a 2B reversal here tonight. So we're down on the futures here, 28.73, although at 28.68. I'm not a huge move, but hey, you know, it's still a good trade. So good stuff there. Anyway, so let's go back to Apple. So Apple with earnings tonight. So they had a good earnings report. They had good earnings, good revenue, and they, in fact, strangely enough, they reported increased sales in China over the last 2 months. That's like, what? So they're improving business in China. What happened to this virus that's been going around? You guys are doing more business, right? So anyway, so they've been super bullish earnings report, but down after hours here. So we'll see how that goes into tomorrow. But taking a look at the daily chart right here, it looks like it's at basically 286 right now. So a gap down tomorrow is basically just a gap down to the upward trend line. So see if we can catch a reversal on that. I like the bullishness behind Apple, and it may give us a long-term move up. So we just have to see how it handles those levels tomorrow. Okay. And the shy. Okay, so you've got your Treasury ETF right here. So we got a little bit of a triangle breakout on this one here today. So that looks nice. Good volume on that one. That looks pretty bullish. Just be careful with these ETFs. But nice one on that. And then ELY. Yeah, nice candle on this one as well. Okay, so we're approaching. Okay, Callaway Golf Company. This is a tricky one to trade if you do options on it. I know the options can be kind of all over the place, kind of spready. But nice move up right here. Again, holding its trend. Good gap. Inside day up today. Broke out over the cloud. Looks bullish. I like it. So good. May even put that one on the radar for tomorrow too. So let's take a look here. Let's get Friday's levels pulled up. And don't forget, tomorrow is Friday. So think next week's options. Okay, theta is really high. If you don't like the crazy theta burn, right, and if you struggle with picking up momentum trades, you know, think about trading next week's options, right? So, but make sure there's enough open interest and volume on the ones that you're looking at. So give me 1 second here, guys. Let me type this in. All right, so that, and then ELY. Looks good. Okay, great stuff. All right, so thank you, Shirley. What else we got? So the Nest, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. We got a nice list here tonight. Good. Let's see, AVLR. Yeah, nice inside day today. A little bit choppy here, but you know, working its way around this pivot level right here. See if we can get over yesterday's highs. I do like the inside day, so if that breaks out to the upside, you may get a little momentum move off of that. BABA. Okay, so BABA, guys, right? We wanted to push over today's highs right before getting along on this one. This came back, it tagged the 50 again, and it's right back to this geometric line right here, right? We always like confirmations. Your first line out of this trend line right here. That's why we put that line on. Let's get above it. I couldn't quite do it today. So again, we might be working on an extended kind of cup and handle, but this is part of the handle right now as far as we know. So let's see how that goes on that one. Knee, the Knights who say knee. All right, so this is breaking down, guys. Again, still on the short side radar right here. I like the breakdown on this one. It was on the short radar yesterday as well. So we got some nice follow through on that one. Great job on that. The Nest for yesterday. We put that on the game plan yesterday, and we got some nice follow through on that. So good stuff there. So let's see if it can continue to work its way down. It's right at cloud support right there, and it got a little volume there, so I might be trying to hold that a little bit. APT. Okay, still chopping around this triangle right here. So we're basically tagged the low end of the triangle, right? And we're just going to kind of keep an eye on it, see if we can get a breakout move on that one. I appreciate you continuing to keep an eye on it. Same with Lake. Okay, so Lake is now breaking down, right? So yesterday we had a breakdown candle off of it, and today we got the follow through off of that. Okay, so inside day down, increased volume out of the triangle, and today was a nice follow through day on that. So see if that can continue to work its way to the downside on that. So I like that. I'm going to put that on the short radar again for tomorrow on a breakdown under today's lows. So great job, man. I love how you're tracking these stocks and continue to follow up on a great follow through on that on that triangle breakdown. Beautiful move. TSN. Yep, so this is one too. We're basically looking at this, a potential triangle pattern right here. Or you can actually kind of even bring it out to here right now. Just kind of see how that looks, right? And then just bring it here right now. So just getting really, really choppy in this range. So getting tight. You kind of use that right now too. And then to see if you get a breakout one way or the other. And this one, we do have earnings coming up pretty soon too, and we'll see kind of how they guide on that. UNH, United Healthcare. Been on a play for a little bit. But it is, you know, kind of clinging on to the ADMA right here. Inside day so far, outside day today. So good volume today. Let's see if we can get some follow through on that outside day. And then DPZ. Upper shadow today. So still struggling here below the upward trend line. Okay, had a big candle yesterday, got an outside candle yesterday, couldn't follow through up. It didn't fully engulf the prior one. We got an upper shadow today, so potential follow through to the downside. Might want to retest the 21 EMA on that one. And then work. How are we doing? We had a little breakout move on this one intraday today, I believe. And it's still just in this chop zone right now. I mean, we're in a chop range right here, and we're like in this like megaphone formation within the chop range. So it's a really challenging formation right now. Just want to keep an eye on if you like it and wait for a breakout move on it. Mike, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at GLD. Yeah, gold with a little bit of pullback here, but it may get a little move if the market is weak tomorrow. So it's right at the 21 EMA. Your 80 EMA is curling upward. If we get a clear chart on this one here, we can get a trend line. These are the ones from the highs right here. So your major level you want to get below, right, if we put our trend box around this, is that guy right there. So we can close bearishly below that, right, and then we might make our way back down to the 50. Otherwise, see if it holds that 21. We're still in the kind of the chop zone right now on it. And then Tesla. So Tesla, wow, it's down like another 15 points after hours today. Well, I guess with the rest of the market. But bearish engulfing candle today off an inside day. Right, so we gapped above it on earnings, and we talked about this last night, guys. We talked about this pullback, right? If it doesn't fill this gap up here, we may see a pullback in the resistance zone. Amazing to see Tesla actually go down, right? But a bearish candle right here. It did bounce off its upward trend line today, so see if that continues to hold. But if it breaks down tomorrow's lows, right, below this 80 MA, we might start to see a move down back to the 21 on that one. Okay, good stuff. ZEK, what's going on? No. So I know, huge candle today. Big move on earnings. Gap and go. Right, this one just went. Right, it didn't get over major pivot levels, but boy, it was strong today. It was a little bit tricky, but it was all at the open. That was kind of the hard thing about it. I know some of our members caught it, but I don't really like trading momentum moves unless we're breaking out of some pre-market levels. They just got really strong on it, and it pushed, got through the 15 orb, and that was about it. Bull flag, right, a little bit, but couldn't break out. Do we have any breakout candles here? No, nothing out of this flag. So I mean, had this little guy right here, but that was about it on now. But good job. I got a DM on that one today from our conversation on flags yesterday. So great job catching these things and seeing these things. CLX. Earnings coming up pretty soon. Earnings coming up, looks like Monday. Or no, tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, sorry. So good. So we'll see how that behaves with earnings tomorrow. I do like the hammer off of the cloud there, so let's see if that gets any follow through on that one. Tech. Yep, bullish option flow on this one for a couple days ago, right? Big volume too, and whatever this company is, but they worked their way up here. We got a little spinning top here today, a little doji. So see if we can break out above those highs for maybe a little doji sandwich move to the upside, and then Zoom got Zoom bomb today because they said they had 300,000 subscribers, but it was just 300,000 people using their video. Right, so that does not include people who actually paid for their subscription. So anyway, and it came back down today, filled this gap right here. It does look like pretty angry right there, like it wants to tag that at least the cloud and possibly the 50-day moving average. So we'll keep that one on the bearish radar as well. Okay, good job, nice stuff. Michael, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Good. Dustin, what's going on? Let's take a look here. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. So we got Apple. All right, we just talked about Apple today. So nice candle today, good volume. Of course, it's down after earnings on good earnings. So, but it's gapping down basically to the trend line right here. So keep an eye on that tomorrow on your, on another screen, just to kind of see how it handles that, and see if we can get a reversal off of those levels there on the strong earnings on that one. And then Diz. Yeah, Diz had a strong move yesterday, but one of the things I cautioned about yesterday when we were talking about is watch out for this cloud resistance right here. We want to get out of the cloud, right? So it ended up being a little bit of a reversal candle right here. But we're holding this prior resistance level as potential support, right? So again, I'm just waiting for earnings on Disney to see if it can give us, some sort of some directional clues. KRE, yep. So a little bit of pullback on this one too. Not quite an evening star reversal, but a bit of a reversal right here at the 50 moving average. Again, this is one if tech were strong, right, you might see money flowing out of this, right? So because we did have some nice flowing into it the last couple days. JP Morgan, very similar. Right here, it kind of gapped down today and just kind of hung out down there with a spinning top. It's right at the 80 MA, so just let's look for a direction on that one. Really, the key levels I'm looking at is this possible macro bear flag right here, so I want to see if we break out below that geometric line. Okay, and then SLV. Again, a little bit of a lower shadow day. It's really, really tight in here. Definitely range bound. Okay, not as exciting as gold's chart, right? So we're just sideways action here on the SLV. So see if we can get a breakout one way or another out of that range. And Mark, BBBY. Okay, so yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond had a huge day the other day, right? Big move. It got all the way up to the cloud and then reversed off it. This is a great day on Bed Bath & Beyond. Huge moves. Got all the way up to the cloud, reversed off of that, shooting star candle, and then kind of back down here to the 80 MA. So just kind of back in the chop zone right now. And yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. Dazzling Sensation, what's going on? Yeah, Boeing, let's take a look. Yeah, yeah. So Boeing, pretty interesting right here, right? Really, honestly, here we go back here to this. I posted a fresh chart on this one tonight, and really, all it is the triangle just expanding on it, right? So, so let's take a look here, 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 and there. Okay, so we're still in this triangle range. Let's see what kind of candle it gives us tomorrow. They had some news right at the end of the after hours session, right? Like right at the end, right? It's like somebody always knows something, right? So right after the close of the after hours trading, they announced basically that they are not seeking government funding, the $60 billion loan from the government. Instead, they're doing it through a bond offering, and so more debt that they're putting out there. So normally, like some sort of offering like that would would look bearish on a company, but because it's Boeing, the fact that they're not going with the government money might be bullish. Money might be bullish for it. So let's keep an eye on it tomorrow and see if it gives a breakout out of this larger triangle. I actually like this triangle a lot better. We've talked about triangles before. I don't like these really tight triangles. I like ones that kind of stretch a little bit and give you some real clues if they're going to break out of a consolidation or not. So let's see what kind of candle it gives us tomorrow for sure, and then we'll see if we can follow that one direction or the other. Okay, I'm leaning bullish on it because of the close at the after hour session, but we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Goldman, yeah, so couldn't close above the cloud, right? Reversed off of that, so you have this kind of 3-candle doji gappy pattern right here, so very similar to the other financials right here, back down to its 80 MA. So see how it holds that one. Goldman's just been so funky recently. It's been kind of tough to trade, but good stuff, Brian. I hope you're doing well. YouTube Day, what's going on? Let's take a look at the Qs. Okay, yep, so Qs are still holding their trend line too pretty well. They're down to 215 after hours, which puts it right around, yeah. So basically right back down to its trend line too. So let's see if tomorrow ends up being a dip buying opportunity. And then Diz, yeah, key levels right now, obviously we want to get it above the cloud right here, like around this 113.50-ish level, or 113.25. So see if we can close above that, and then your levels below are basically just in this cloud right here. You got this prior resistance where we closed today. Below that, right, we might see possible seeing the breakdown move, or even seeing the breakout right here at 101. So we just kind of have to kind of track that. We're still kind of in a choppy range and waiting on earnings on that one. Danny, what's going on? Let's take a look at AMD. Yeah, I mean, bearish candle today. This set up pretty nicely intraday a couple times. It was a little bit bullish at the open, then it gave us a couple of the signals here that this thing wanted to work its way lower, and then of course it's down after hours here. So just kind of keep an eye on that one. Bearish candle right here below. It closed below the 21 EMA, and everything's starting to curl over on this, right? If you go to your trend line, right, we're still channeling up right here. So, but it's got room to work its way to the downside on if it wanted to. And then mRNA. Hit enter before I hit the A in. Pulling up A. So anyway, so pretty interesting stuff here, right? So mRNA getting tight, right? Very, very tight triangle. Like I said earlier, I don't particularly like these as much as the bigger ones, but it's still a triangle. Let's see if we can get a breakout candle one way or another out of this consolidation, out of these geometric lines, and go from there. Good stuff. Jorge, what's going on? You have returned. We missed you too. Glad you're here. Good evening. Yeah, we've been good. I know, quite a day, and what a week, what a month. I hope you're doing well. Fausto, I know trading's hard, but I'm going to have to put you in the penalty box right here because there's no cussing in our channel. So I'm going to put you in timeout there. Okay, let's take a look there. So, what else we got? Okay, so Johnson, what's going on? BA. Let's take a look. So in the yeah, definitely in the triangle right here. Let's see what that news does from tonight. If it can give us a breakout candle out of this triangle one way or the other. So definitely keep an eye on that one. That should help us find some direction on it. And Brian, is Netflix making a bull flag on the daily chart? Yeah, yeah, I think it was. It definitely was here. It's starting to get a little bit stretched, right? So if we really want to, kind of show what it is right here. I mean, it is what it is. Yesterday's low did give us a potential low of it, right? So I mean, this is really really tight stuff right here. And we can kind of go like this, here, like here. So yeah, so nice find on this one. Okay, so we're definitely within this bull flag type move. Again, we want to make sure it's the size of the flag isn't as big as the flagpole itself. You could consider, hey, this whole thing is a flagpole. So let's keep an eye on it. Obviously, Netflix has been on the bullish radar. Lots of users and everything since people staying at home and using the Corona or using it instead, while the Corona's out there. So let's see if we can get above these levels, right? Nice move today. I want to see it back above this trend line. A big breakout candle on Netflix tomorrow. Big green candle tomorrow with some volume over the trend line. Oh, what happened there? I lost it. There we go. So big breakout candle over there tomorrow could be a bullish move for Netflix. So good one to keep an eye on that one for sure. Nice catch on that one. Daz Sensation, have you covered lessons for the parabolic curve patterns? Are you talking about just like going when something just goes parabolic, or are you talking about like other like some sort of like a technique of using a parabolic charting? Because we haven't gotten that, but if you just look at just parabolic moves like Tesla, Tesla had an epic parabolic move here. This is about the definition of parabolic right here. This will be in textbooks one day. This is almost vertical, right? So, it can only withstand that so much, and typically, not too long after a parabolic move, do you see a big drop down. That's kind of most things we look at right there. But kind of tracking it, like with interesting wave patterns. There are some tools out there, but it really is beyond the scope of Thinkorswim. so anyway, good stuff. Yeah, let's take a look at CRM. Yeah, upper shadow today, so some good movement here. It's kind of working its way up a little bit. Could be working on a doji sandwich move to the upside. It looks like it's getting some good volume coming in here. So see if that can get a little push there over today's open or close. See if we can get a little doji sandwich off of that. Yeah, Mark, my pleasure. Michael, what's going on? Microsoft, let's take a look. Okay, so Microsoft here, upper shadow. I'm sorry, we ticked above this level right here, but we ended up closing below this pivot point, right? So it was a nice move up on earnings, right? Nice gap. It ended up fading its gap today, and then trying to work its way up with the rest of the market. It's kind of crazy because when you put in your pre-market levels, it doesn't look like it. But they did try to push. A lot of things try to push at the end of the day, so it's kind of going down a little bit here. Kind of keep an eye on it tomorrow on its 30 orbs. But right now we're have kind of this line in the sand off of this level right here. So that was the one we were looking at yesterday. We talked about a gap and go. We're like, let's see if we can gap above and push above this level for a gap and go up. Instead, we talked about it right for a reversal. And we did get that reversal today, but it was pretty choppy most of the day. It was just an opening range action, which is kind of blah. So didn't give it really many setups intraday today. T-Doc. I think T-Doc had some earnings, and I think I heard they were bad. But let's double check that. Double check it. Yeah, nice lower shadow here today, but let's see how it did after hours here. Earnings yesterday. I could have sworn I heard something, some news on it tonight. But anyway, yeah, just kind of chopping around here after hours. So I do like the lower shadow. It kind of, held this level right here. So see if that holds. But again, things are starting to curl down on it, starting to look kind of bearish, right? We're breaking down below. Let's see, here's our trend line right here. We're below this trend line. Okay, so look for a push below today's low if you want to be bearish on it. If you want to be bullish on it, right, see if you can push above today's highs and close nicely above that 21 EMA and try to work its way up to the gap. This is a tricky one. The option spreads are a little bit funky on it, so be careful with that. Dustin, DKNG. DraftKings. Yeah, so a little bit funky here, right? Really the big thing that I'm interested in is over 2250. I like the inside day. I couldn't even take that up today. So A little bit rough there on this one, but let's see if we can get some strength and or wait till it gets like a chart pattern for us right now. Otherwise, the only range the real range we have to work on is these highs and these lows. IPOs can be tough. They're usually pretty bearish after they open these days anyway. It's just buy it and dump it, right? I wish you could short IPOs because we'd all be rich. Jorge, what's going on? Thoughts on this news of Trump mentioning tariffs against China? Pretty interesting, right? Pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, talking about tariffs in China, avoiding debt. So very, very interesting stuff. So kind of definitely something to keep an eye on right there. So as the China trade talks start to come, maybe make headlines again. But I don't know. There's a lot of concerns about doing business over there anyway. The way they, anyway, it's all pretty interesting stuff. So we'll see how it ends up playing out on that. So again, I'm sure all it's going to do is add more volatility to the market, which is good for us. So anyway, so H, let's take a look. It gives us bigger moves that we could trade. So here we go. So Hyatt working its way here, big triangle pattern right here. I love how the top of the triangle is made essentially by this 50 moving average right here. But if you kind of grab this right here, we got this. So it's getting really, really tight in here. Right, this level is key. We had to close above it right there. So honestly, a big push over here would be nice. So I want to see a breakout here, and ideally some confirmation, but maybe a push over those levels. We got earnings coming up on that one too. And then Bud, Wiser. I don't know if you guys remember those frogs. Anyway, so you got this triangle right here, and look, your 50 moving average is also forming kind of the top of a triangle too. So let's go to this level right here. And there we go, right at the 50 moving average right there. So let's look for a breakout candle one way or another. I'm not sure if he's going to do it before earnings. We're good. Only if Tim Apple has saved SPY. I know, exactly. I tell you, they did the best they could. That's for one thing. Mike, what's going on? FLIR. Okay, FLIR has a huge gap down last earnings, and if I'm seeing right, the gap will fill when the cup completes. Okay, so it had a huge gap down last earnings. Yeah, last earnings. Yeah, big gap down right there. If you're seeing it right, it'll fill with the cup completes. Yeah, so that's the idea. Right, watch out. Gaps can form resistance levels. Right. So what we'd like to see is we got a real nice cup pattern former right here. Let's see if we can come back, test that level. Maybe pull back a little bit here. We got earnings coming up. See what that does. See if it gives you another set right here. Then see if we get a breakout candle there to give that handle pattern and then that breakout pattern right there. But yeah, big cup pattern right here. It's still a tradable move, right, as we come back to these highs right there. But the psychology of the handle pattern is that they push them down one time, then they come back one more time, and then the bears finally give up and you get into the gap. So let's see how that goes. Okay. Taxley, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Bullish on ATVI. Yeah, it'd be my pleasure. Yeah, so generally it is bullish, right? It is working its way up, right? If you kind of squint your eyes, you can see it. But the hardest thing about ATVI is just trading it. I mean, just going back through all time, it is one of the hardest stocks to trade. It does not give smooth moves at all. Even a gap up here is painful, right? So it makes it very, very challenging. Then it chops around for a while. It makes it very, very difficult to trade with options. If you could sit through it with shares, maybe something like that. I do like the reversal candle right here. Right, and but it couldn't even get above it here. So I mean, honestly, we just have to wait and see how it does on earnings. We'll see if maybe more people at home were downloading and playing games, and see if they give a good report on the earnings report. But this is a very tough one to trade. But it is holding some key levels, and it had a nice reversal candle yesterday. So hopefully that'll continue to work there. Manhattan Lad, what's going on? SDC. Oh wow. We need to remember to mention this at the close. Going on. So. We need to mention this at the close. So, wow, that was a great candle here today. Yeah, definitely look for some bullishness on this one. We like the intraday price action today. Very, very strong. Had your double inside 15, but it held up pretty well today. And it looks like it even closed with a 60 anchor today. So let's see if we can push above that. But very, very strong candle today. Let's see if we can get some follow through here to the upside over today's highs. I'm liking it. Good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. RCL vibe. Right to the cloud and the 50 moving average. So nice move up right here. Strong candle yesterday, of course, right into heavy resistance. So now it's a little bit of a red candle off of that too. So yeah, there's your Royal Caribbean. So just be careful with this right here. It could potentially be a tweezer's tops. And so if it breaks down below tomorrow's lows, you might kind of work down and fill that gap below. So just be careful with those guys. But it did have a nice move up the other day. I know we were talking about it the other day, and it did keep going. Tesla, that's a sensation. Yeah, Tesla is a bearish engulfing candle right there, but it is holding the upward trend line. Okay, so let's see if we can hold that and maybe give us some action tomorrow. It'll be nice if those premiums could get good on it. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, definitely appreciate you tuning in. Fecal matter, Fausto Bo. I'm gonna have to. Just no. I gotta kick you out, man. You can't talk like that here. All right, so let's see. So, Jorge, thank you. Mr. Bubblehead agreed some more volatility if it escalates. Yeah. Dazzin Sensation, miss those commercials and what's up? I know exactly. Front bud, wiser. Great stuff. Those are the fun days. Theory, what's going on? Good evening, Neo. I haven't looked at Neo in a while. Wow, this thing's all over the place. Goodness gracious. What a gap up the other day with a big reversal. This would have been a good one to have on the bearish radar today. This one can be fun to trade, right? This one can be fun to trade. I mean, just to take a look at it here, I mean, the puts on this thing, let me pull up the puts for you guys. So where were we yesterday? So we closed here, we went into the range, so $3.60. So if they have a $3.50 put today, yeah, I mean, these things are just fun. I mean, look right here. So today, if we got it below, or well, I'm gonna look at the puts right here. So if it'll be above yesterday's high, you just get these nice moves off of it, right? So I mean, here, I mean, it's such a tiny trading stock, but I mean, percentage-wise, you can get some decent gains off of it, right? So anywhere here between 12, right, you get your way all the way up to like 17 cents, right? It could be almost a double on those. If you go out a little bit of the money on that, it's a little bit tough here on today because you have some data, but here you get a little bit bigger move out of it, right? So entry over yesterday's highs here at 46 cents. It gets all the way up to 62 cents today on Neo. So that's quite a trade on those options there. I wish I had seen that chart pattern yesterday. I really love the volume and the shooting star off at the top of the cloud. I mean, these Neo's got some work to do to get bullish. So anytime I see like a big move up on Neo or a pop like that, to me, it often is shortable, right? Especially if this is a clear big upper shadow there with big volume. So I wish I had seen that yesterday, but that was a good one to look on that. So right now it looks like it's coming back into the chop zone, but nice one there. And then GDX. Yeah, so GDX, a little bit of a move down here, but possible flagging right now. So, we had a 3 move up, right? These ones, these kind of gold and the miners and stuff like that are a little bit challenging here. So let's see how that goes there and there. So a little bit of a flag type pattern here. Let's see if we push that over today's highs. Otherwise, it might be working its way down a little bit. And then shop, yeah, the range is getting really tight. And let's see here. We're just going sideways too. Here. Okay, so here's your upward trend right here. But yeah, definitely coming sideways here. Let's see how it does once it gets to that. So before you know it, it's going to be earnings again. So it had this epic move up. Let's see how it handles its earnings. Quite possibly could be very good, right? Because a lot of folks trying to build business from home. If they're quarantined, right? So so they might be getting some more business out there. So that's something to keep an eye on too. Manoj, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. AMD. Yeah, bearish candle today. We looked at it, intraday today for day trade. It's tough on the setup. It's had some quick scalpy type moves, but I like the upper shadow here off of the 80 MA, and I like how we closed under the 21. We have a nice geometric trend line right here, so that is a potential target on that. Okay, Taxa, yeah, my pleasure. Last one, ES, our lovely one. That's right. So ES, good stuff right here. We're right at the right below the upward trend line here tonight. We're down about 36 points here based on basically Amazon and stuff like that. So pretty interesting session here, right? So we have one of the things we could look at just kind of going into tomorrow. It's kind of channeling right here, so let's get that right there. Nice channel move into tonight. So I mean we're kind of following this channel down here. Let's see how we handle tonight's lows. This level right here, where we're approaching. Okay, we broke down below that earlier, but this was a major pivot level back here. Okay, that has been tested a few times. Here it was resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke out, retested again. Then we got a big breakout move, test it, test it, test it, and then we had that big bull flag up. Right, worked our way up, and now we're back at it again right here. Okay, so let's see. This is kind of a key area right now to see if we can hold that. If not, right, we may be sliding down this trend line, and we'll see how they do. We'll see if the plunge protection team can come back in again. So Neo gap up was $1 billion of financing. Oh, nice. Oh, that would have been great to have caught that trade. That was just a nice one there today. Jorge, so Ford canceled their EV program. Isn't that interesting? I guess with oil prices so low, they're like, why are we even doing this? and nobody's buying cars. So why are we making cars, right? So they're in a pickle right now. So we'll see how it handles that right now. But that's very very interesting, and we're at a very tight compressed 8 and 21 EMA right now. Dazzling Sensation, one more for you to wrap it all up. LVS. Yeah, this is definitely one to keep an eye on, right? Once they announce that, they're opening back up again, it should get a bullish move off of it. I would expect it to. But we're still in this tight triangle pattern right here, so let's see if we can break out one way or another. Here, let's get a little more exact. There. Okay, so let's see if we can get a breakout out of this candle right here. We are in the cloud, so see how it holds itself up in there. Nice. Mike, yeah, it's possible to put another shoulder in. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Good. Taxley, thumbs up. Thanks. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it. This is a good week on talking about chart patterns this week, so I hope you guys found it helpful. Next week, we're going to try to get Trader Moog back on here. He got a little bit tied up, so maybe next Sunday. This Sunday, though, stay tuned at 6 p.m. instead of our regular 9:30 session. At 6 p.m., I'm going to be going live with Trend Spider. So I'll be retweeting all that stuff this weekend. They're already starting to promote it. So looking forward to that one. So I hope you guys are able to make it for that. We're going to talk about charts, state of the market, things like that, and have a good discussion on that. So please tune into that one. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube, and please hit the like button, and also check out the links in the description. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and a great trading day tomorrow. So stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first, and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.